Hey, what's going on everyone? Paul Mendez here with Profitable Freelancer. And in this video, I want to dive into a topic that Upwork just kind of announced officially. And I really think it's a great way for a lot of people to go out there and to land more high paying clients, really just utilizing the platform that Upwork already has and capitalizing on some of their new features. So one of the emails I got that told me that their new feature was finally launched was this email right here. And this is basically where they announced that their new projects feature has been launched and is live to the public. And they describe it as where the work you love finds you. And if we just zoom out a little bit, there's a lot of kind of momentum around freelancing websites, and some of the most popular ones are Upwork and are Fiverr.com. But the thing is, if you've seen my last video, you know this already, but if you haven't, there's a pretty distinct difference between the two. Whereas with Upwork, it usually takes a little bit more of the sales process, going back and forth with a client, and therefore that usually typically turns out to be more of a long-term relationship. Whereas with Fiverr, it's, if we hop over to Fiverr's website real quick, we can see that they're really just more of an e-commerce based website that's really looking to take all of that sales process out and just sell the most services. And you can see that as you go through their website, they obviously have a lot of different in-demand services for offer on here, but there's not that much back and forth. When you reach out to a freelancer on Fiverr, you already have a couple pre-defined packages. So if we go into one of these categories, like let's say customize your website, and then we click into one of these, we can see that they can bundle them together into different service packages on a basic, a standard, and a premium level. Now, what Upwork has done, and that's this new email I'm bringing up to you, is that they've basically modeled after this exactly. And with the project catalog, they're basically saying, hey, this is a way for clients to find you and for you to sell more projects without having to go out there as much and sending proposals out. Now, if you have a well-optimized profile, you already know Upwork is great for getting people to come to you. But if you're just starting out or you don't have that much experience, this can be a very powerful feature. So if we hop over, I want to show you recently what happened with this, how you can build a project on Upwork, and a little bit of what to expect during that process. So once you're on your Upwork dashboard, all you have to do is go to the Find Work tab and go to what's called My Project Dashboard. And when you go there, you're going to get to the project dashboard page. And this is where you can kind of see exactly how the project catalog works. So you get an order, you wait for the requirements, you send the work by the deadline, and then you get paid for it. Now, this is all about Upwork looking to the future, looking at how they can help freelancers more, how they can help clients more, and ultimately how they can really just progress the pace of remote work and of freelance work. So if you look at some of these questions, they're great to just kind of explain exactly what the project catalog is, how does it work, all of that. But in this video, it's just to give you a quick summary of it. And I want to show you the project that I actually built. And if you go into the actual project tab, you can see that it looks very, very similar to Fiverr. So if we hop over to Fiverr, we can see, there's the three packages. You have your image on the left, you have your description down below. It's the same exact thing on Upwork. And as you go down, you can see that it actually carries along your same profile. So your Upwork profile kind of gets carried over here along with your rating. If you're top rated like I am, that will get carried over. And this is really where you go into the details of the project. You outline the different steps and the different requirements, and you can even put in a bunch of frequently asked questions. And then below that, that's where it includes your profile and all of your reviews. So if you can start to just look ahead in the future a little bit, that's when you can really have the most success. So I just want to walk you through now how simple it is to go in here and to edit this kind of project. So if you're starting from scratch, you're obviously not going to click edit, you're going to click create a project. But knowing that, you can watch me go through this, it's very, very simple to set up. And if you do a couple of things I'm about to show you, I really think you can stand out. So this is where you will put in the title, and it tells you to focus on the benefits of what the client's going to get. Now, this is important. This is where you're going to really kind of just boil down exactly what you want to get into, use a keyword or two, and make sure that you're really focusing on every single service package you offer. So for example, for mine, I'm doing Google Ad Management. So I'm not only going to include the optimization, but I'm also going to include the audit. So even though this might not be the actual package they get, it kind of lets them know exactly the type of services I offer before they even click. And then you really want to make sure you go into the project category, and you want to pick the best project category that makes the most sense, because that's how Upwork is going to find those new clients for you, and they're going to suggest this project in the algorithm. So if you look at how Upwork describes it, they're basically saying this is what helps the clients find your project. So you really want to tell them how it's going to benefit them. Try to come up with a title that's very, very kind of direct and really gets to the point. Then when you get to the next page, this is where you can kind of break down the different packages. Now, I don't want to get too much into this because every single service you offer is going to be different. But for my case, I basically broke it down into 3 different steps, with the starter being kind of just a Google Ads audit, the standard being more of kind of building some campaigns out for people and the audit, and then the advanced is more of a full month of management. But you can really do this however you want, and based on what category you choose, that's what is going to come up in these different pricing tiers and these different variables here. So once you do that, that's when you get to the next step. And the next step is actually creating the images, and this is really where I'm really encouraging you to use a platform I love called Canva. And this is where I created the images for this. And if you notice, in this one, I actually have the words on the top, and when I submitted it, Upwork disapproved it. So make sure when you're doing this to not have words in your image, and you just want it to be a photo-based image. So for me, I really think that building a personal brand with freelancing is so important, and that's why I put my face here, and that's also why I put the Google Ads logo, the updated logo, along with just a computer, and I put in my Google Partner badge up here. So that's what I did for that, and then I took a screenshot of some of my really good reviews. I put that just into a photo, and I uploaded that onto the image gallery. So once we go and we look at the project, you're gonna see that you really want a photo like this cover image I'm showing you. You can kind of pick which one you want to be the cover image, and this is what's really going to get people's attention. And remember, people like to work with other people, so that's why I really encourage you, put your face out there, try to build your personal brand. It's really going to help you get ahead of the competition. And then this is when you get into the description, is the next step. This is where you want to summarize exactly what you're going to do in this project, and really try to make it very, very simple, because the whole thing with this is the more information you can provide in the project, in this summary, in the different steps of what's going to happen during the process, and then all the frequently asked questions. The more time you put in there, the better the actual onboarding is going to be when you get a client, because number one, they're already going to know what's required of them. They're already going to have their most frequently asked questions answered. So that really puts them in a place where if they're ready to make some moves and to hire a freelancer, it can really cut out the length of the sales process there. And then after that, if you save and continue from there, this is when you will get into just some of the more specific requirements, exactly what you need. And after that, that's when you go into the review of the project. They're going to ask you how many projects you can handle at once. And for me, I put 3 in, but just make sure you don't put 1 or 2. I think anything 3 or above, because you want Upwork to know, and you want the algorithm to know that you can actually handle a good amount of these at the same time. And of course, you don't want to lie. You want to really be honest with it. But let's just say you did have 3 or 4 or 5 of these come in. That's awesome, because probably those are opportunities that you might not have gotten. So you don't want to limit yourself right off the bat, if that makes sense. And then it goes into a little bit of a copyright notice saying that you own all the rights of everything, all the images and all of the content. It goes over their terms and services and the privacy notice. And before you do that, I really encourage you to click this preview project tab, because that's where you can go in and you can see how it's going to look for the client. Now, of course, it's saying, I can't purchase this because I'm in my own account, but you can just see what it looks like as you toggle through the different level of packages, what it includes. Once again, you can see how your profile is directly linked up, which is why your reputation is so vital. And this is basically it. You go out there, you build a project, you build a really good image on Canva. And just to provide an update, in the last video, I went over this new feature, how I got early access to it. In this video, I'm letting you know how you can set this up to land more high-paying clients. And I want to give you just a little bit of inspiration, because after I set this up, I actually had someone reach out to me for this job. So they reached out to me and they messaged me for this job, asking a couple questions, and we actually ended up setting a time to meet. And that's when, I'm in the process right now of signing this client. So already this project catalog has helped me get a new client in the door. Now, I want to give you just my opinion, just to wrap up. I really think this is an awesome feature. I think you should go use it. But just to be honest, I don't think it's going to really work the same way that Fiverr's platform is kind of working. And that's because just the nature of Upwork, and the reason I personally have a lot more success on Upwork, is because it's really more geared towards building a personal brand, building your portfolio up, finding different clients that you can partner with for the long term. So even though, someone might just come here and just buy an audit from me right off the bat, the likelihood of someone actually coming in and just purchasing a month-long optimization package without even talking to me is really just not that realistic. But that's totally fine, because you have to remember, it doesn't really matter, because I can still sign this client to an hourly contract or to a monthly contract. So it doesn't have to be in this service tier. This is just what gets that client in the door. So yeah, that was a little bit of a wrap up on how you can use Upwork projects to have the most success as a freelancer, to just get your project and your personal brand in front of more potential clients that you can eventually turn into long-term recurring clients. So I really hope this video was helpful. Leave a comment down below if you're going to use this feature, if you're already using it, if you've gotten any clients from it. I'm really interested to hear your feedback. And until the next time, I look forward to your future success.